How's it going, everybody? Thank you very much. Always appreciate you watching. I'm Orlando Ruiz Jr. Welcome to the first classic horror movie review of this spooky season of October 2024. This is my review of one of my all-time favorite slasher sequel horror movies, Child's Play 2 from 1990, directed by John Lafia, who was a writer on the original Child's Play from 1988. This sequel is one of those rare sequels that not only measures up to the original, but might just be just as good, or if not, maybe even better. Once again, you got Brad Dourif returning as the iconic killer doll, doing the voice of Chucky, Charles Lee Ray, and you have Andy Barkley back, little Alex Vincent. You also got Jenny Agutter in there, Grace Zabriskie, Garrett Graham, Christine Elise. This is a real fun ride. The kills are a little bit more intense in this one, some a little bit more gory. This movie opens with a very cool opening title scene where we see what's left of the burned remains of Chucky from the first Child's Play movie, and we see a couple of factory workers reassembling the doll from head to toe from scratch. And then Chucky pretty much gets the Frankenstein monsters treatment with a little bit of a shock of electricity, bringing the doll back to life, very much in the same vein of Jason from Friday the 13th Part 6, Jason Lives. And so pretty much the moment that Chucky is alive and back with us, he kills one of the workers that helped bring him back to life, that was working on him. Pretty cool shot of a guy going through a window, and then we see his face all bloody. And so yeah, that's the first kill. Gets off to a pretty good start. We learn at the very beginning of this movie that the cops that helped Andy and his mom take Chucky down at the end of the first movie decided to back out of telling the truth about the doll, and so they completely decided to cover their asses. Andy's mom ends up going to a psychiatric hospital for observation, and so Andy is all alone to fend for himself, and he is adopted by a couple of people played by, you got Jenny Agutter, and you also have Garrett Graham as his new foster parents. I like Jenny Agutter's performances in movies like Logan's Run and in American Werewolf in London, and I really think she's very good in this movie as well as the character of Joanne. She's this woman that's really trying to be a very good foster mom to Andy, and she seems like a very maternal type of person and trying always to be the one that's a little more even-headed or level-tempered than her husband Phil, who is more of a hothead, kind of a grouchy guy. But the MVP of this movie for me has to be the character of Kyle, played by Christine Elise, who is the foster sister to Andy that was already staying there with Phil and Joanne. She tries to be kind of a mentor for Andy, and they really do have a pretty cool kind of little brother, big sister kind of bond going on throughout the movie. Much like a sequel is supposed to do, this one really ups the ante when it comes to the kills and some of the gore. Even though it's not all that gory by today's standards, it's definitely a bit more gory than the first film. There are some kills in here that are pretty fun and creative. You have one involving a teacher with Chucky sneaking into Andy's school and writing something on Andy's paper, getting him in trouble with the teacher. And then the teacher actually locks Andy in the classroom at one point all by himself, which I don't think is legal. I gotta tell you though, back in the day when I was a little kid and I saw this for the first time, I was scared shitless knowing that Andy was in this classroom all by himself, knowing that Chucky was locked in the closet, and as Andy would slowly approach the closet door, there's a nice little jump scare that always gets me, even on rewatches, just because I like to turn that sucker up loud, and so the louder the better. In the first Child's Play, little Andy Barkley had his mother to protect him, and we see a lot of the horror in that film through her eyes. But in this sequel, it's pretty much Andy all alone, and so this pretty much feels like it's told through the point of view of a child, since we have a child in the role of the main protagonist. And because of that, watching this back in the day as a little kid, it always got me wanting to root for this character and made me wish I was that brave in certain moments when he would come to a turning point and decide that he wasn't going to run anymore. He was just going to face Chucky head on, which is kind of inspirational as a little kid. Because in the first one, Andy is a bit more of a victim, so it's really cool to see him have kind of a progression. All the credit in the world to Alex Vincent. I think he was tremendous as a child actor. And of course, I got to talk about the great Brad Dourif, because for me, this is quintessential Chucky. This is Chucky at his best. This is Brad Dourif's best performance as the killer doll. And I really love how he just goes for it. In that first one, you can tell it was a little bit more experimental and full-on horror. This one, pretty much straight-on horror, but a bit more humor injected into this one, since there was some of that in the first movie. There was little hints of that. The second time around, Brad Dourif injects the character of Chucky with a lot more intensity in his voice, a lot more anger. He has that wicked, dark sense of humor, but never manages to let it fly off the rails. Stays true to the character from the first film. The first Child's Play also had that great music score from Joe Renzetti. It's one of my favorite horror movie scores of the 80s. Very creepy stuff. Love that music. But when I think of Chucky, when I think of Child's Play, I think of the music score from Child's Play 2 because I think it's even better. It has this really great little theme that kind of sounds like a wicked, twisted lullaby for children. And it's done by Graham Revell, who did the music for Bride of Chucky as well. I think one of the great things about the Child's Play movies is even though these are slasher movies, these movies are full of suspense. They build tension beautifully, and because you have a little killer doll walking around that's always in like certain corners and hiding and stuff, you're always wondering where this little bastard could be. And the movies really do great at using that angle, especially when it comes to characters not knowing that Chucky could be around, and you got characters that don't know that Chucky's alive. The last 20 minutes of this movie, the finale, is freaking awesome. It is one of my favorite set pieces of any horror movie. There are some great moments with Chucky running through this warehouse, chasing Andy. Not only is it a warehouse, but it is basically a warehouse where they manufacture good guy dolls, and so you have stacks and stacks of boxes of dolls all over the place that look like Chucky, with Andy and Kyle running around, running from Chucky. To me, they're not all great, but they're all watchable and they're all fun. Some are definitely better than others, but Child's Play 2 is definitely the high point of the series. Unfortunately, we can never quite reach that point again since then, but you know, you never know. Maybe they'll make another movie someday and maybe it'll live up to that quality, that same excellence of Child's Play 2. But yeah, this is a 4-star classic. If you watch my channel, then you might have noticed there's usually a special little guy in a box sitting on the shelf behind me, but because it's the spooky season of October, I decided to decorate the house, and so I thought I'd take him down and put him up there with the rest of the decorations. Because I decided to talk about this movie, I thought, why not bring him out to say hello, since, you know, why not? Since I am talking about Child's Play 2. I love this thing. I actually do have memories of being about 10 years old, inviting friends over to the house, and every now and then we'd watch Child's Play, and I would get certain kids to lay down on the ground, and I would put my hand over my friend's forehead, and I would start saying the chant, creep the hell out of these kids. And yeah, I know it by heart. Ade Dewey Dambala, give me the power, I beg of you. Leva Mercier de Washayo, s'accusete a me qua de mort, mortis me lede corde me bosche, adele porte passe, Dambala. Yeah, I had a lot of fun scaring the kids back in the day. Thank you all very much for watching my Child's Play 2 review. I'm very excited to get into more horror movies this month, with it being October, my favorite time of the year. I very much appreciate you watching. If you're new to the channel, if you're into movies, hit the bell, become a subscriber if this kind of thing is for you. Please be sure to like, comment, and don't forget to look out for the next classic movie review. If you want to share this video, I appreciate that as well. If you're a returning viewer, thank you very much for your support. I always appreciate it. I hope you all have a fun and safe October. Till next time, peace out, God bless, take care.